Howdy guys, welcome to the cave. I'm Mark, and you're watching Blue Street Customs. Hey everybody, welcome to the cave and welcome to my birthday premiere of this video. So today, what do I have here? Well, I have a 1956 Chevy car, and I built this car back when I was like 12 years old. Now it's been in storage for many years, probably pushing 25 years it's been in storage, wrapped in a piece of newspaper, in a box, shipped across Canada a couple times, and yeah, it's not doing too bad. Now, there is a couple things that have come loose over the time, and throughout this view of this car, you have to keep in mind, I was about 12 years old when I built this. So things aren't up to people's standards of today, but any customizing that was done, again, I was 12 years old. So this was almost built out of box, but customized a little bit from extra model parts that I had laying around. So let's take a look. First of all, rear suspension has come unglued. So that's what we got. Now I did put on bigger tires. You know, the rims I do believe were the rims that came with this car. Now, of course, back then, I didn't know how to customize things very well. So what did I do? I used a candle or a lighter or something. I don't remember exactly what, but we obviously melted the springs and recurved them. Now, let me take these tires off. Now, these are nice one-piece tires. Of course, they've been painted a few times, but they are a nice Goodyear raised leather, nice tires. Didn't sand them. I was 12. What can you say? Right? So, yeah, here's a better look, the recurved springs. Try and get them focused for you. So, as you can see, all I did was heat them up, right? Bend them, bent the fronts a little bit. It worked back then. And this one's actually got a nice little quick change rear end. So I'm going to have to straighten these out. I want to change up this car a little bit. Now, one of the seats came unglued, so we'll have to change that out or fix that somehow. One of the front wheels. So again, bottom of the car, very basic. Exhaust pipes, nothing major, nothing majorly painted. Again, I painted mufflers, tailpipes, touched up the black. Now, if you've noticed, look at the paint on this car. There isn't any. That is the plastic of the car. There is no paint on this car other than the trim. There's no paint on this car. That's the way it was. It's a little dirty, but again, being in storage and stuff, I've cleaned it up a little bit. Now the interior, you can kind of see some in there, I guess. Not much. See if I can get a light down in there. I did paint a little bit back in the day. Dusty and dirty in there. And again, now I don't know, I'm pretty sure this car came with a Chevy engine. And I just noticed that these bumpers, this one's upside down. So I may have to try and fix that. This one's the right way. Nice 56 Chevy taillights, Now, the hole was cut and put in. It's got the nice style hood hinges. I like some of the ones today. So yeah, it's pretty rough on the inside. I might clean that up a little bit, but I'm trying to leave this car pretty much the way it was. But there is a Hemi in there. So I may pull out the motor and try to wire it up, just to give it a little more detail, but I don't want to change too much in here, right? Now, I don't know if I can get this body off. Some of it's unglued, kind of thing, because, back in the day, all we had was the tube model glue, right, from Testors. We didn't have any of this Tamiya stuff, and, You know, we didn't use a whole lot of super glue back in the day, so, you know, but I mean, it's kind of cheap with the tailpipes. They run in behind the bumper. You know, I'm not quite sure how that's supposed to work, but whatever, that's the way it is. That's the way it's molded. That's the way we're in there. So, but I've got quite a bit of glue and spots. You know, I didn't want it to come apart back then, right? So, a bunch of glue down in here. So I'm not quite sure if I can get this body off nicely so that I can get to the interior, because if you look down inside, oh, there's my light. If you look down inside there, you know, I glued pretty much everything, right? You know, so that's glued, the interior tub's glued in, back and the sides, you can see down in there, you know, and I'm pretty sure up inside too. So it could be interesting to get that out. I don't want to break the body. I don't want to paint it. I may not even touch the chrome work on here because I want to kind of leave it the way it was, right? And yeah, so that's what we're going to do. Is I want to change out the tires. I want to maybe lower the suspension a little bit. And what I want to do is I want to put these tires on. Nice steely rims, white wall tires, nice tread. You know, if I can get these on there and have it sit a little more of a lowrider style, right? Get that tire off. So yeah, see right now it would sit there and that's too high. I want to bring it up so it's a little closer, you know, something like that. So that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, if you like these types of things, I've got a whole bunch more that are in the box, still wrapped up. Some of them are broken, some of them are missing parts. I still have a bunch more in storage that are still in Alberta, but hopefully at some point in time we'll get those ins here too. And I've got monster trucks, I got, you know, Lamborghini Countach, I got all kinds of things. And I want to try and fix them all up again. Some of them I may completely redo. Others, like this here, you know, I really don't want to, you know, change much on it, right? So if you like this type of stuff and you want to see more of it, hit that like button down there. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me, you know, if you want to see me do more of these types of little videos. Hit that bell button so you don't miss any upcoming videos. So once you're done all that, let's get to this. I'll be back in a second. Okay, guys. Well, I got the four rims off of the tree. Now I was doing some paint testing before, see what I like. But what I was thinking is I might use the all-clad chrome and paint these chrome. So kind of like the old chrome Moonies type style rims. We'll see. I'm not quite sure. I don't think flat black would look good. I could make them rusty, but then the rest of the car isn't rusty. So I'm thinking probably either chrome, or I could go maybe a bright red to match the interior. Well, we'll decide on that in a bit. So next thing I did this off camera, so I had extra room, didn't have the camera in the way. But I broke pretty much everything free. So, and actually it came apart fairly easy. So we got the motor loose. Now, as you can tell, you know, it was painted when I was 12. And, you know, things are, I don't even think, yeah, this transmission piece does not belong to this bell housing. As you can tell, I don't know, I'll zoom in here for you. See the gaps in there? And if you can see, there's actually knife marks where I was cutting it free. You know, so I cut the bell housing off of this transmission and just glued it onto this. Now again, I was 12. Yes, there is a hole here. It snapped off. It's on the frame. So that'll make it easy enough to relocate it back where it was. But this is obviously some sort of motor from a drag car of some sorts. You know, it's got kind of the, you know, engine plate and stuff that you would glue onto a dragster frame. And I think that's where this is from. It's one of those really long dragsters, right? and this would sit in the frame of those dragsters. Then you'd have your fuel pump and everything there, which supposedly is supposed to be a linkage, I'm assuming. Now, the funny thing is with this, these butterflies that are on here actually move. See that? That's how detailed models were way back. So that's kind of cool. That's a neat feature you don't see anymore, or at least I haven't anyways. So let me know if you've built any models that have anything like that. You know, as far as the wiring and stuff, I mean, there's pieces missing, but like I said, this is how old, and I customized it when I was like 12. So not too bad, I think. So from there, I popped off. I'll zoom back out for you. I popped off the chassis. And I figured it was going to be a lot harder, but it actually came apart pretty easy. So it was glued up front here. Of course, it was glued in the four corners here, and it was glued back here. So lucky enough, it actually came out fairly easy. And yeah, the headers actually stayed in their place. So that's kind of cool too, which means I don't really have to fiddle with that too much. Now, I'll probably end up breaking them off once I start fiddling around with this front suspension to lower the car. All right. So that's one thing. Then the next thing I looked at was, you can see, glue, 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 and all back in here. But fortunately enough, it actually broke free quite easily. A little bit of persuasion with the X-Acto on there. But actually, yeah, it came off pretty easily. Same thing back here. They popped off really nice. You know, as you can see, like back in the day, I even did pretty good gluing the window in and not getting it foggy at all. Alright. One piece window. So there, we got that off. Now the only other thing I'll have to take off the body so I can fix it is the front bumper. Because these bumperettes should be up, as far as I know. I'm going to double check, find a couple pictures of the real car, and yeah, but I think these are supposed to be up. So other than that, that's pretty good. Again, back in the day, I mean, well, look at the headlights, right? But I'm going to leave it because this is my history, right? So we got the interior out. So now I get a chance to actually clean it. You can see I didn't put things in perfectly straight, you know, whatever. Didn't fully detail everything. Painting isn't perfect. But, you know, considering how old it's been, how old I was, you know. So I'll try and clean it up a little bit. See how I can make it. Yeah. I'm not going to change the paint or anything on it. Just going to leave it the way it is. And I just want to clean out the dust and the dirt and glue the seat back in. So I'll get to that there. And once I get the interior cleaned up and the seat ready to be glued in, I'll come back and then we can glue the seat in, try to straighten these out, and maybe pull the front suspension off. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, guys. Well, I got this decently clean. Now all I used was just an old paintbrush. Just loosened off as much of the dirt as possible, you know, the dust and stuff, and get in where I can, and blew that out. Then I just used a few of the cotton swabs, right? Some cotton swabs, put some glass cleaner on it on one end, and then from there, you know, I just tried to get in anywhere I could and then dry it off. Did that a couple times, you know, and it actually looks pretty good. I guess off to the wheels now. Now this here Not quite sure. It looks like, let me zoom in for you. Looks like this end I bent down. Looks like maybe a little bit right here as well. Both sides, obviously you can see this one a little more. And then here, doesn't look like I really touched this end of it. Just bent it here. Maybe a little bit there. Maybe I got it too warm. I mean, it was 12, right? I think I did pretty good. So, in tradition, I probably stole a lighter from somewhere. So I'm going to try and heat this back up. And we're going to try and straighten it out. Now, I probably won't end up getting this perfect, but we can probably get it fairly close. Look at that, it almost wants to go back to where it was, where it's supposed to be on its own. Now, kids, don't play with fire. Don't do it this way. There is much easier and much better ways to do this. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm not going to get this perfect, but at least they are straighter. I might try to work on this one a little more here. Okay, so let's do a rough fitting. Well, that's definitely off, but it's not bad. You know, that one's pretty close to the original hole. That one's definitely way off, and that one's a little off. Not too bad at the moment. Now, you do have to remember, I did this when I was 12, and if you look closely, this wasn't even built and then taken apart and customized. The glue marks are past the holes, which means I did this right off the bat. So, not bad. Now, can I stretch this one out a little bit? Definitely warm on the fingers. Again, I'm not looking for perfection because I know it's not going to happen. I'm just trying to get this lowered down a little bit. Well, with a little bit of camera magic, I got the tires fitted on. Now, I did have to remount the back sides a bit because these backing rims are a little bigger than what the wheels are supposed to have, but I got them fitting. So they look pretty good. You know, just had to use the little X-Acto blade, right? And just cut the back side out a bit, ream them out. They look pretty good. They fit pretty good. Now, I'm trying to decide what I want for rim color. Could go silver. This is gunmetal on this one. Let me zoom in for you. So we got gunmetal. We got just regular silver. And I'm not sure what I did to this one. I got a feeling that I painted this one black first, and then I brushed on all clad chrome. Now, we could go one more. We could go with a bright red to match the interior. You know, like a red like this. Not quite sure yet, but we'll get to it. Either way, you know, put the rims in. They look pretty good. Like that. Bright silver. Now, if I somehow put this in here. So if I put this on here, like so. So we could have the dark gunmetal, like that. Or we could have bright silver. Or we could figure out where the other one went. Oh, there it is. Or we could have that one. Now, I'm kind of leaning more towards dark gunmetal. I think that's the one I'm going to go with. Another coat of dark gunmetal on that, maybe a little bit of black wash. Should be good. Bright silver. Looks good, but I think it's too bright for the car. I could try some wash on that, some panel liner, whatever you want to call it. Try that and see. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the gunmetal. So I'm going to paint those later. Right now, what I want to do is get this rear end in there. Now, I've also decided that it's actually sitting at a very nice height with these smaller wheels. Right? They are smaller than the factory ones that came with this car. So I'm going to glue this in, and that'll sit in there quite nice. It's not perfect, but again, I'm not looking for perfect. And we'll glue this seat in. Now, staying with the tradition, I'm going to use some of this. The tester's glue, the old style glue. So let's start with gluing this on. And we know where it's going to sit, just like that. I'm just going to clean up this here a little bit. Well, isn't that fancy? I guess we're going to fix that too. Some pretty hard plastic. So, give me a minute. I'm going to fix this and I'll be back. Okay, so I got that glued on. So, while that's drying for a little bit, I'm going to glue this seat in. So, this should be fairly easy. A little bit of glue on here. A little bit here. Yeah, like I said, I don't want this perfect. I kind of want it to look like it was still done back when I was 12. And as you see, back in the day, I didn't clean any paint off. Nothing, so that's where we're going to leave it. I don't want to change anything. See, even these seats, they didn't even have backings on them. Nothing. That's the way they were. So we're going to let that dry. I need some space. So the tires actually touch. So now we're going to put a little bit of glue here. A little bit on this one. A little bit back here on each one of these. This glue is starting to get a little too old. Now it's sticking up just a little bit here. It doesn't want to stay down. So we're going to put a little bit of weight on there. And what do I got for weight? Let me see. How about just a jar of paint? Yep, that's enough. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. When that's dry, and that's dry, this here, I'll be back and we'll start working on putting some spark plugs in this thing. And that'll be almost ready. We'll get the rims painted up. I'll paint them off camera. So I'll see you back in a few minutes. Hey everybody. Alright, so I'm back. And well, I got rims painted, spark plug wires on, seat glued in, suspension glued on, and I found some hubcaps and I've touched up some of the chrome plating. Now I'm pretty much ready to put this thing back together. So let me show you. So got the other seat glued in. Now I did touch up a little bit of chrome in here and things like that. Nothing major, right? Other than that, there was nothing there. And like I said, I touched up the chrome, so I made the airplane a little nicer, touched up where there was some black plastic showing. Things like that. Nothing major again. Same thing on the front bumpers, grills, you know, back bumper. Basically touched up wherever there was a little bit of black showing through somewhere. Other than that, that's it for that. Now, suspension's on, tires are on, as you see, you know, and everything, I got everything sitting flat. Nothing's rocking, you know, all where it's supposed to be. Yeah, as far as the engine, I got some purple spark plug wires on. I did touch up the chrome a little bit on here. Other than that, that's it. Glued the bell housing back down. It was coming loose a little bit. Didn't touch anything else. Like I said, I just wanted to make it a little bit better. Change up the suspension a bit, you know, and the wheels and tires. And that's basically about it, you know. I mean, I kind of want to leave it the way it was when I built it when I was right around 12 years old. So there's that. Now, as far as the rims, that's what I did. Okay, that's a front wheel. I think that will go pretty good with like interior color, right? You know, so it just brings a little bit of the color to the outside of the car, right? One of the back wheels. Yeah, what do you think of that? Now, if I kind of quickly somehow plug this in here, I don't have the interior in yet, but that's okay. Get this in here where it should be, like so. This one back in. They obviously have to be glued in. And there we go. I think that looks pretty good. Now, if you look at the hubcaps, here's the hubcaps. There we go. There's the hubcaps. Yeah, just a little dog dish, you know, simple Chevy rim, or Chevy hubcap, I should say. And I think that'll look pretty good on there. All right. Same thing in the front. Doesn't look too bad. I think that suits the car. So, next thing we got to do is, I think we'll glue these rims in so that they're in there permanently. Because right now they kind of just fall out. Right here, let me zoom out. They just kind of fall out, you know. So we'll glue those in, glue the hubcaps on, glue the motor back in. Then while that stuff's drying, I can glue the interior back into the body of the car. Let that all set up for a little bit, and then we can glue the chassis onto the body. So let's figure out what's what here. That's a rear. That one's a rear. And this one's a front. So again, I'm just going to use some of the old school glue because that's what I would have used back then. And I'm just trying to pay homage to that. So a little touch on here because all these tires do roll. I want to keep them that way. Slide that in there like so. Now let me know down in the comments if you have any old cars that you built back in the day of your 12, 14 years old or whatever, you know, if you've had cars for a long time, let me know. I'd like to know if you still have any. What are they? You know, how did they turn out? Things like that. Because it's always interesting, you know, seeing who else has done cars back when they were a kid and, you know, still have them. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of you out there that do. I really need new glue. This stuff is so stringy, but it'll work for now. Eventually I will get some more because it's nice having this old style glue. Same time, if you want, why don't you tell me down in the comments which cars you did build, don't have no more, and wish you still had or could find again. You know, because hey, I know that I've got a few that I wish I still had. You know, and I haven't been able to find again. Now next week I will have a mail time video, and I got one truck so far that one of my uncles used to have, and I remember as a kid and watching him build it and everything else. And now that he's passed away, I don't know where those trucks are. Now I want to get all four of the ones that he had, but I now have one of them. Now you will see that in mail time. If you guys want an unboxing of that, plus whatever else I'm going to show you, please tell me, and I'll do an unboxing of them. I will be building them on the channel at some point in time. I do have to finish off the Nova and the Daytona first. Once we get those done, yeah, we'll see what's going on. I mean, I still have that 83 Grand Prix 1/16 scale that I'm going to be doing and continue working on, but I think that one will just kind of be in the background, just on and off here and there while I build these other ones. Now there's going to be a diorama for the Nova. There's a diorama for the Daytona. So there's still lots to go. Now I don't want to take the chrome off of this. Normally you would scrape the chrome, right, so that it would stick better. But just in case in the future, I'm just going to put a little dab of glue on here. It'll stick, it'll hold, no problems. But if I ever decide that I want to change it, it won't be that hard to get them off, right? One bad thing about these glue bottles, you give it a little bit of a squeeze and the damn thing just keeps puking out more and more glue until it decides that it doesn't want to anymore. So that's what it's going to look like. You know, doesn't look too bad. So I'm going to get the rest of these done, and then I'll probably glue in the motor off cam, set that aside, and when I come back, we'll glue in the interior into the body. See you in a sec. Okay, so let's glue in this interior. Now, I'm just going to pretty much put glue back where I had put in glue before. And then we'll put the interior in, all right? So a couple spots, like right here, move it there, touch there, and touch there. 4-mile-an-hour glue. A little bit on the front here. Okay, and that's good. Now, if you wipe your glue off like I do, make sure not to put your parts or your body in it or anything else. I've done that before, but again, a long time ago. Set this back where it's supposed to be here. So if the glue touches up here again where it was before, I may put a little extra there just to make sure it holds again, just like I did back in the day. So there we go. Interior's back in. Seat has been fixed. So we're going to let that dry and for a little bit, and then I'll put the chassis in, and we're almost done. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, everybody. Well, I'm back. Everything's had time to dry. So now we can glue in the suspension or the chassis. So this should be fairly easy to do. The back end where it's supposed to be. I am going to put a couple dabs of glue in here, and again, not too much because, you know, if I ever do want to totally redo this car. So we'll lift up the frame rails here. Put a small dab under there, under this side. And again, these back corners where it was last time. I'm not trying to make it pretty, I'm just trying to almost make it look like it did before I took it apart, minus the small changes. So there we go, that's that. And yes, I did change my paper towel so there's no glue on it. So there we have it. So there's the engine. A little bit of purple wiring, nothing major. Pretty much back to where it was. Here's where the wheels are now. You know, that looks pretty good. It's hard for you guys to see, but that's the stance of the car. You know, still can put a finger in, almost factory height, really. Doesn't look too bad. More of a sleeper car now. And of course, well, here's the hood. I didn't bother to clean up any of this stuff. And that just slides right in there. And there we go. You know, back to being a 56, all in one piece again. Rims and tires, didn't bother to touch up anything that was done before. Just a few blemishes and stuff on the bumpers, and that's it. Fixed a few problems, changed out the rims and tires. So if you liked what I did here today, I've got a bunch more. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see me do more of these. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for me, please. hit that bell notification so you don't miss any videos. I want to thank you all for watching. If you want to check out my Instagram and my Facebook group, links are down in the description. I do have a PayPal Me link down in the description as well if you decide that you want to help out in any way. No obligation to do so. So until next time, later.